Hi, my name is Frank McClain. I'm the stage director for the Orlando Philharmonic's production of Verdi's La Traviata. I think my favorite thing about La Traviata is the way the music so completely expresses the story. A great composer captures the feeling and the essence of the emotion, and Verdi was a master at that, and this is truly one of his classics. Many people call it their favorite. It really has everything. One of the wonderful things I love about working with the Orlando Philharmonic is the grandeur in which we get to produce things. It's not an opera with a giant set, although we do have a setting and there are set elements, but we use full costumes, we use full props. I like to say it's opera without the walls. As a stage director, I do nothing different than I would if I were directing an opera with a full set and an orchestra in the pit. What this gives us is a chance to incorporate the orchestra into the picture, and actually there's 61 musicians, which is a very large orchestra, and putting them on stage with the surrounding, it makes it a musical experience that's really unparalleled. We have a fantastic team working behind the scenes on that. Bobbie Demme-San Filippo is fantastic. She's been instrumental in helping me develop the overall picture and look and design of our set.
Hi there, I'm Bobbie Demme-San Filippo, and I am the production designer manager and the costume designer for Orlando Phil's La Traviata. We've embraced the orchestra with all of its members and the maestro himself as a part of what we're doing by creating a set that literally encloses them from the back as well, so that the orchestra is in the midst of everything that's happening around stage rather than just on stage. And it's a way to make every performer, whether they're playing an instrument or singing, as vital to the experience. This is a really vast production. We have innumerable people backstage. We've got a team of nearly 20 doing hair and makeup. We've got the people who provide the props and the people who do the drawings for the set and then the construction, the people who build all the costumes that we've amassed all of the fabrics and base garments. Violetta is our star. Violetta is the focus of our story, and so she'll kind of be the lead peacock, and the rest of the supporting aesthetic will be about how it relates to her, how all of these small pieces build up her wonderful, rich, and elegant circle around her. So it's important that you feel that, along with her rich blues and greens and teals coloration and the plumes and the feathers and everything that makes it the opulence that everyone thinks of when you think of a peacock. This is a very encompassing role for me. I'm the person that Frank is allowing to really guide the whole visual of the story that he's telling. And so what you see on the set and what you see in their hands and what you see on their bodies is generated by how we put this team together and how we put this vision together. It's very important that you see this as a painting. If you notice a piece of it, a segment of it, then I haven't done my job well, because I'm supposed to provide the backdrop for the story that Frank is telling with the singers. And that it feels like one big, almost like a Seurat painting, where all the little points of light and color become one big painting, is what we're trying to achieve. And it's an amazing challenge, and it's a little bit scary, but if you don't do scary things, you never have any fun.
We've chosen to set it in the 1920s, and I think it really works in that time period. I chose the 1920s because I think it's in a really exciting time and a unique era in history that a modern-day audience still connects to. It became this place of artists and writers and new ways of thinking, new ways of morality, a real liberation of women, which is extremely important for our story. So I think of her as a very infamous socialite. All the same actions are taking place. She's been connected with wealthy men, but she also has her own independence in a way that women in many other time periods just would not have had. She has independent means. She is a zest for life that really fits into that time period, that excitement. And in her love story with Alfredo, very much like the 1920s, it's fleeting and it's brief. And at the time, they're living life to the fullest without knowing what's to come in the decades ahead. And that's why I think this is a really exciting time period to explore, and it fits the story really well without taking anything away from the story, and I think in many ways will add an immediacy to a modern day audience.
One of the really wonderful things about setting it in 1920s Paris in this art scene is that we've tried to add the flavor of that time by including familiar, not necessarily faces, but they're going to feel familiar. And if you have any sense of what a young Hemingway looked like, I'm sure that you will spy him in one of those faces. And if you have any sense of what F. Scott Fitzgerald at that time looked like, you'll spy him there, because they would have been there and this would have been her circle. And it's a way for it to become familiar, sometimes subliminally and sometimes a little bit more overtly. And it just depends on when or how you see it, how that'll happen.
If you've seen La Traviata 10 times, please come out and see it. I think you're going to get something different and new with this one. If this is your first time experience La Traviata, or your first time experience an opera at all, please come.
When you see what's on that stage, when you hear what's being sung and played, this is not something you'll ever want to miss. This is something that will be a singular artistic experience for this community this spring, and I am inviting you and hoping that you will be a part of our party and be a part of our audience, because I can't think of a better place to be.